Hello, students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Modern World History series by looking at the Enlightenment. Don't forget that there's a link for a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize for any mispronunciations ahead of time. I do my best. Okay, let's go. In the 1500s and 1600s, the scientific revolution changed the way people looked at the world. They began to use reason and science to learn how things worked. For example, they found that rules govern natural forces such as gravity. Scientists and others began to call these rules the natural law. They believed that natural law could be used to solve society's problems too. In this way, the scientific revolution sparked another revolution in thinking known as the Enlightenment. Two important English thinkers of the Enlightenment were Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. Hobbes argued that people were naturally cruel and selfish. They needed to be controlled by a powerful government, such as an absolute monarchy. According to Hobbes, people made an agreement, or social contract. In this contract, people gave up their freedom in exchange for an organized society. In contrast, Locke thought that people were basically good. He believed that people had natural rights, or rights that belonged to all humans. These are the right to life, liberty, and property. Locke thought a government of limited power was best. French Enlightenment thinkers, called philosophes, also believed that people could use reason to improve government, law, and society. These thinkers included Baron de Montesquieu, Voltaire, Denis Diderot, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Montesquieu, for example, developed the ideas of separation of powers and of checks and balances. The framers of the United States Constitution would later use these ideas. In a set of books called the Encyclopedia, Diderot explained the new ideas on the topics of government, philosophy, and religion. Other thinkers, including Adam Smith, focused on using natural law to reform the economy. Instead of government control, they urged the policy of laissez-faire. This allowed the free market to regulate business. Enlightenment ideas flowed from France, across Europe, and beyond. The ideas of the Enlightenment, found in books such as Diderot's Encyclopedia, challenged traditional beliefs and customs. In response, most government and church authorities waged a war of censorship. Censorship, however, did not stop the spread of ideas. Philosophers and others disguised their ideas in works of fiction. In the 1600s and 1700s, the arts evolved to meet changing tastes and reflect new Enlightenment ideals. In visual art and in music, there was a transition from the heavier splendor of the Baroque style to the lighter, more charming style of Rococo. Ballets and operas, plays set to music, were performed at royal courts. Opera houses sprang up in Europe. Composers later created elegant works in a style known as classical. A growing audience of middle-class readers also led to the rise of a new type of literature, a prose form called the novel. The courts of Europe were also affected by the Enlightenment as philosophers tried to persuade European rulers to make reforms. A few European monarchs did accept Enlightenment ideas, but retained their absolute control. These enlightened despots used their power to bring about some political and social changes. In Prussia, Frederick the Great kept tight control over his subjects, yet allowed a free press and religious tolerance. Catherine the Great of Russia abolished torture and criticized the institution of serfdom. In Austria, Joseph II traveled in disguise among his subjects to learn of their problems. Despite the spread of Enlightenment ideas, however, the lives of most regular Europeans changed slowly. All right, time to recap. In the 1500s and 1600s, the scientific revolution rocked the boat, urging people to think outside the box. This set the stage for the Enlightenment, where heavy hitters like Hobbes and Locke debated human nature. Meanwhile, in France, a crew of brainiacs called philosophes cooked up revolutionary ideas. Montesquieu dished out separation of powers, while Diderot served up fresh thoughts in his encyclopedia. Adam Smith even crashed the party with laissez-faire economics. But the old guard wasn't having it, trying to stomp out the Enlightenment with censorship. Yet these thinkers were as sneaky as they were smart, slipping their ideas into fiction. As if that weren't enough, the arts got a makeover, with Baroque giving way to Rococo. Opera houses popped up and novels became all the rage. Even royalty joined the fray, with some embracing Enlightenment ideas while keeping a tight grip on power. So while Enlightenment ideas spread like wildfire, change for most was as slow as a snail on a leisurely stroll. There you have it, folks. That is the Enlightenment nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Do me a favor and enlighten those like and subscribe buttons for me, and say something enlightening in the comments down below. See you next time.